Alright, today we're going to be switching the exhaust, the muffler on our 2010 Polaris Trailblazer here. And if you watch the walk around review that I have on it, I mentioned that it's really hard to find aftermarket parts specifically made for this four-wheeler. So looked online for a while and came up with a DG universal slip-on four-stroke exhaust. And this is their R series. I think that just stands for the round body of it, because they do have a O series and it's oval shape. Everything I found online says that the R just designates a round. It's not like a race R for race series or anything like that. It did come with a supplied hanger, and these are the springs it came with. Really little and cheap. So I just went to the hardware store and I picked up a couple of bigger springs, because the stock springs that hang your original muffler are a little bit too short. So we'll start taking the four-wheeler apart and get to the install portion of it. Alright, we're going to start by taking the seat off first. Tab underneath the back. Seat lifts off. And you don't have to take your rear plastics off to get to your exhaust. You can access everything down below. It's just your spring on top and bottom, and then two mounting bolts here. You can access everything without taking the plastics off, but you'll have a lot more room to work, and you guys will get a better view on the video if I take the plastics off, so that's why we're going to be doing that. Okay, we're going to start by taking out the battery. First, disconnect your tail light. Just depress the little clip and pull it apart. Phillips screwdriver to take out your battery. And then take your battery out and set it aside. Try not to set it on the ground, because setting a battery on the ground can drain power out of it. Alright, next we're going to take a T25 torque bit to remove the 6 screws on top of the back plastics that bolted to the frame. We'll take those out. Alright, we've got all the screws taken out of where the plastic bolts to the frame. So next we're going to pull all the plastic clips out that hold your fenders to your floorboards. Alright, they do make a clip removal tool. If you worked in the automotive industry at all, you might have one. Otherwise, a flat screwdriver usually works pretty good. You just pop the center out, and then they pull right out. There's 3 on each side along the top of your running board. 3 on this side, and then 3 on the other side, identical. You recording? Mm-hmm. Alright, so we have all the 6 bolts taken out of the top here. We have our plastic rivets taken out on the sides here. So now all you gotta do is lift it up, slide it out. Your battery cables and your cord for your taillight slide right through the hole. Set your plastics aside, make sure not to set them face down on the ground or you'll end up with scratches. Alright, now we're going to move on to actually taking off the old exhaust. Alright, before we go any further, I figured we'd take a quick sound clip of the stock exhaust so you can hear the difference when we put on the other pipe. Alright, so we're going to start by removing the springs for the exhaust. Take off the top one and the one on the bottom. Alright, then you're going to remove the 2 mounting bolts, and they are 1/2 inch. Alright, after that, your muffler just slips right off the back of your pipe. There's the old stock exhaust. And we'll start putting on the new one. We're going to slip this on to the exhaust pipe. Fits on there pretty good. They do supply a spacer with it if your pipe is a different size, but matches right up to this. Then we're going to take the supplied hanger and use the original mounting brackets. Stick a bolt through there. And they send a little rubber cushion to go around your pipe and your hanger so it doesn't rust or mar your pipe or anything, I guess. Alright, so use the existing mounting hole from your factory exhaust, and they supplied this hanger band with your exhaust. Get it lined up where you want it to sit, and just get this finger tight, and make sure you use a lock nut or one that's got a neoprene liner so it doesn't vibrate loose. Just get it finger tight, and then we're going to get the springs hooked up before we actually tighten this down, because this is what stops it from sliding back and forth. So put the springs on now. So we're going to put our springs on now. And these are the springs I picked up from the hardware store because the ones they supplied looked a little bit too small for me. Alright, and then you just got to put the one on the bottom. And then we'll go back to tighten up that.
Go.
Alright, so we got the top spring on and the bottom one. We're going to start putting our plastics back on. Feed your battery cables up through the hole in the plastic along with your wires for your rear tail light. And then the fender slip behind your floorboards over here on both sides. Sits right down like that. And we'll put in our plastic rivets first. Alright, put the plastic rivets back in. Push the outside in, then just push the middle in. That's what expands the rubber to hold it in place. You got 3 on this fender, and then on this side, and then 3 on the other side also. Next, we're going to put our battery in. Drop it in, and this is the battery retainer. Bolts down with one of the same bolts that hold your plastics in. And again, these are T25 torque bits. Look at that, tighten down. Don't tighten any of them up all the way until you get all of them started, in case you need to shift your plastics around a little bit. Plug in our taillight. Then get all these started. Alright, so now we got all those bolts started, so we're just going to go around and tighten them all up. Alright, and the last step is always to reconnect your battery. First step should always be disconnecting your battery. Last is always reconnecting it. Just for safety reasons, so you don't get a shock or anything. We can get this started in here. Alright, so then we're going to put our seat back on and start it up. Alright, so we got the exhaust all put back together with the new slip-on exhaust from DG. And fender's back on, seat and battery. So we're going to start it up now and give you a sound clip. Alright, so that was the sound clip of it, and as you can hear, it's a lot louder, sounds a lot deeper. Really cool sound. I should mention that we did purchase the quiet core, the smallest diameter they sell for this pipe, and without it, it is extremely loud. I wouldn't recommend it if you live in town or you like to ride with other people, but if you like really loud pipes, don't buy the quiet core, I guess. But I think the quiet core is like $30 extra. And you just remove the set screws around the edge of the tip here. It comes off. The quiet core goes back in on top of your spark arrestor, and you put your tip back on. So here's the stock exhaust. Really, really heavy and ugly. The brushed aluminum finish on the DG is nice. It shouldn't rust or anything. It's also probably about the third of the weight of the stock exhaust, so you're saving a lot of weight there, so that's nice. Really nice to be able to find an aftermarket pipe that's universal. If you have an older four-wheeler or an Enduro and you can't find an exhaust, somebody that makes an exhaust for it, I highly recommend the DGs. This is the R series round body. Sounds really good, and I think with the quiet core and the pipe, I think it was less than $150 on Amazon. So a really good deal, considering a lot of aftermarket slip-ons are $200, $300, $400, $500 just for a slip-on. So it's a nice way to go, and I think it sounds really nice. And I think that'll do it for this video.